Welcome to Real Authority. Before getting into it, I do apologize in advance for being a bit low energy. I'll explain why after I talk about regretting you, because it actually has to do with regretting you, but yeah, why don't we get into it? So it basically sees a family tragedy revealing a dark secret, and three of the people affected, Clara, Morgan, and Jonah, played by Allison Williams, McKenna Grace, and Dave Franco, basically try to manage that situation. Well, Clara comes of age and starts to fall in love with Miller, played by Mason Thames. Don't really have an attachment to Colleen O'Hoover's work. Tried watching It Ends With Us last year, but that was in the midst of the current controversy, so I couldn't really continue it, especially knowing that. But yeah, for some reason, the trailer for Regretting You really sold me on the fact that it could be a very entertaining movie, especially with the cast. Like, I felt like one of the guarantees was that the cast was going to do pretty well, but I also had the sneaking suspicion that, like It Ends With Us, critics would absolutely tear it apart. I mean, they were more mixed with It Ends With Us, but I did have the feeling that it would probably be rotten, and I was right. But sometimes critics can be wrong. Or maybe this is just my guilty pleasure of 2025 and the first guilty pleasure movie I'm reviewing on my channel, but we'll see. Starting off with the acting, yeah, it's great around the board. However, the central four of the movie, Allison Williams, McKenna Grace, Dave Franco, and Mason Thames, I do feel they carried the movie. All of them give pretty emotional performances, even though Mason Thames is probably the weakest of the four. Granted, he gave two much better performances in How to Train Your Dragon and Black Phone 2, so I don't blame him, but he was very charming. Dave Franco was also very enjoyable and relatable too, and you do feel for his character. However, the two main standouts, Allison Williams and McKenna Grace, they really carry the movie. They basically do a great job at representing their character's struggle with this situation. Grace in particular continues to prove how much of a rising star she is. You may remember her from Annabelle Comes Home, in which I called her Mackenzie Davis in my ranking of the Conjuring movies, and the two Ghostbusters movies, but here she really gets to show her acting ability. She did great work, and I'm excited to see what she does next. Josh Boone's directing complements the acting as well as the rest of the other elements in pretty solid fashion. Like, I do feel it does a great job at balancing the emotional moments with the more lighthearted stuff, even though I do feel maybe that's where people may leave more divided, because sometimes it doesn't stick to a path, and if you're expecting one sort of tone for the movie, you're going to get both. Susan McMartin's screenplay also has the challenge of making sure that balancing act works, and I do feel that she does. Tim Moore's cinematography, usually acknowledged cinematography when it's great. It's great. And I do feel like with the realism, like, to an extent, you can call this a feel-good movie despite its dark setup. But I do feel when it's trying to convey emotion, it really does, to where when the catalyst happens, it's like a needle drop. Because sometimes life can catch you by surprise. So I do feel when it got serious very well. Also, it's a very charming movie. Like, that's why I feel I left kind of loving it more than probably critics are right now. It's because it's really charming, and for a lot of romance movies, I feel they require that charm, and yeah, this is a romance movie too, especially with Grayson Thames' character. Plus, you do feel emotional when it comes to the main family stuff. Like, the romance doesn't detract from the main core of the story and the struggle they feel after the death of two important individuals in their lives. So they did both those stories pretty well, and again, the emotional and comedic balance was very strong. The 2-hour-minute runtime also doesn't drag. I really do feel the runtime was really strong, and it doesn't leave you bored whatsoever. One other thing, not really implementing in the review, but it's kind of funny how they kind of reference AMC theaters a lot, so it's trying to show like a love of movies, which I can respect. Also, all the movies they reference are Paramount movies. This movie was released by Paramount. Yeah, so yeah, you may disagree, but I really did enjoy my time with Regretting You. It's not like a masterpiece or anything. Again, this is going to be one of those guilty pleasure movies of the year, where you may not be able to justify why you like it so much, but you just say, hey, I enjoyed it. I kind of loved it. Incredible acting all around the board, and I think a lot of people, even those who don't like it, will acknowledge that. It's just a feel-good movie that knows what it is and runs with it, so the Real Authority approves. 10 out of 10. Again, can't justify why I'm giving it a 10, but I am. Before ending the review, I did go to the event, and I thought I might as well tell you how that is. It was kind of a disaster. Like, I was able to see the movie, but the stuff before the movie was just kind of messy. And I heard that this was a theater-wide issue, so it wasn't just our theater experiencing it. Apparently, all the live events were experiencing it. Most of the time, I was just sitting there with a black screen, and when it wasn't a black screen, it was just replaying an old AMC intro, not even the modern one, like an old one, making me think that they were going back, but no, that's a glitch. So yeah, it took like a solid 40 minutes to actually resolve that issue. Luckily, the movie played without any issues, so that's pretty cool. One other thing, because I am a fan of getting collectible stuff, that's one of the reasons why I went to the event. Since I am a movie fan, I got this, and this little guy, because I like free stuff. It's also kind of funny, Mason Thames had like 3 films released this year, and they had like free stuff for all of them, so I indeed got Black Phone too. And I also got the How to Train Your Dragon one, which is pretty solid. Also got this little bag boy right there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Make sure to leave, like, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, and comment your thoughts on the movie, and let me know if you left feeling that it was a guilty pleasure too, or anything that you didn't like. Alright, peace.